You've set up a strong password. You also use a fingerprint or Face ID. You never click on those strange links in your email. You do everything right. Now, what if I told you that all of those safeguards, the ones we depend on day in and day out, are in some ways utterly useless? There is a terrifying new breed of cyberattack that doesn't just bypass your password or trick you into downloading a malicious app. It gets in before your operating system even loads. It's a digital skeleton key that can unlock your phone's deepest secrets, making it a permanent spy in your pocket that a factory reset can't even touch. In this video, we're uncovering the one critical security standard that only a single manufacturer, Apple, follows, and why it should completely change the way you see the device you carry every day. We're told to worry about external threats, hackers, phishing, public Wi-Fi. And while those are all valid concerns, the most dangerous attacks are the ones you can't see. They target the firmware, the lowest level code that controls your phone's hardware. Think of it as the device's brainstem. It's what tells the processor how to run, the storage how to load, and the camera how to function. If an attacker can inject malicious code into this foundational layer, they can achieve what's known as a firmware rootkit. This isn't just a simple virus. This is a digital ghost in the machine. A rootkit at this level can bypass every single one of your operating system's security features, including passwords and biometrics. It can steal data, listen to your calls, and even remotely activate your camera and microphone, all without you ever knowing. And because it's so deeply embedded, it survives a complete factory reset. You'd think you've wiped your phone clean, but the threat is still there, lurking in the shadows, ready to reactivate. To put this into perspective, consider the infamous Equation Group malware uncovered in the 2000s. This wasn't just spyware. It was a firmware-level attack that survived system wipes and reinstalls. It was so advanced that many researchers believed it could only have been developed by a nation-state. That's the league of threat we're talking about here, something closer to espionage tools than casual malware. And it doesn't stop at nation-states. In recent years, smaller hacker groups have begun buying or leasing firmware exploits on underground markets. This lowers the barrier to entry. What was once the domain of highly resourced intelligence agencies is gradually trickling down into the hands of criminal enterprises. That means your phone isn't just theoretically vulnerable, it's practically at risk. So, how do you stop a threat that gets in before the phone is even fully on? The answer is a concept called signed firmware and a secure boot chain. This is the critical standard that almost every other manufacturer has not fully adopted. Signed firmware means that every single piece of low-level software on the device is cryptographically signed by the manufacturer. It's like a digital fingerprint. When you power on a phone with this system, it follows a strict boot process. The processor first checks the boot ROM, which is immutable. It can't be changed. This ROM then cryptographically verifies the next stage, the bootloader. The bootloader, in turn, verifies the operating system kernel. It's a chain of trust. If even a single link in that chain is altered, if the digital fingerprint doesn't match, the phone's secure boot process instantly detects the tampering and refuses to load. It's an ironclad defense, a fortress built from the ground up to prevent unauthorized code from ever running. Think of it like airport security. Without a secure boot chain, it's like letting passengers walk straight onto a plane without checks. With it, every stage is scrutinized. Boarding pass, ID, bag scans, body scans. If even one check fails, the passenger isn't getting on that flight. Now imagine replacing passenger with piece of code. That's how vital this process is. And here's the catch. Most manufacturers don't enforce this strictly. They might verify some components, but leave others unchecked. That's like running an airport where you only check IDs, but never scan luggage. It works until someone slips a bomb through. The manufacturer that has championed and consistently implemented this deep-level security standard across its entire smartphone lineup is Apple. For over a decade, Apple's iPhones have been built on a foundation of a secure boot chain and a secure enclave, which is a separate, dedicated processor for handling all biometric and cryptographic data. The reason this works so well for Apple is their walled garden approach. They have complete control over their hardware, their firmware, and their software. This allows for a level of deep integration that's simply not possible in the Android ecosystem, which is designed for openness and runs on devices from dozens of different manufacturers. To be fair, Android has made significant strides with features like Verified Boot and Project Mainline, which provide important security updates to various components. But because of the inherent fragmentation of the Android ecosystem, a consistent end-to-end chain of trust from the silicon level up is incredibly difficult to achieve. A vulnerability in one manufacturer's custom bootloader could leave millions of devices at risk. This doesn't mean Android devices are unsafe. It means they're uneven. A flagship Samsung running the latest OS might be relatively secure, but a budget phone from a smaller brand could be several years behind on updates. And attackers don't care whether you bought the premium model or not. They care about opportunity. This unevenness creates a weakest link problem. In security, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Apple avoids this problem because it is the entire chain. Google may enforce strict guidelines, but with dozens of manufacturers implementing them differently, cracks are inevitable. This begs the question, if it's so critical, why don't others do it? There are a few key reasons. Complexity and cost. Implementing a fully signed firmware architecture is incredibly complex and expensive. It requires meticulous control over the entire supply chain, from the chip design to the final assembly. Openness versus control. The Android philosophy values openness. This allows manufacturers to customize devices and innovate, but that same openness creates more potential entry points for vulnerabilities. Time to market. In a race to release the next model, adding another layer of stringent security and verification can slow down development. Perceived need. For many users, the threat seems abstract. Manufacturers may prioritize features and price over a security standard that the average consumer doesn't even know exists. But as security threats become more sophisticated and attackers start to target this foundational layer, this oversight could become the most significant difference between your data being safe and it being compromised by an attacker you can't see or stop. This isn't just speculation. In 2021, researchers demonstrated a proof-of-concept attack on certain Android devices where malicious firmware persisted through resets and OS reinstalls. The demo shocked the cybersecurity world because it proved something experts had warned about for years. Once firmware is compromised, your device is no longer yours. Now, combine that with the fact that phones have become extensions of our identity housing banking apps, digital IDs, health data, and work credentials, and you begin to see why the stakes are so high. We're not just talking about hacked selfies. We're talking about full-spectrum identity theft at the deepest level possible. The world of smartphone security goes far beyond what appears on your home screen. It reaches into the hidden layers, the code that runs before you even enter your password. And while every major manufacturer has made strides in protecting users, only one has taken the bold, all-encompassing step of building a fortress against the deepest and most persistent threats. The threats we've discussed, the ones that live in the shadows, beyond the reach of traditional defenses, are exactly what Teleris was built to combat. Our mission is to democratize enterprise-grade cybersecurity, giving every organization the power to defend against threats with our AI-powered agents. If your organization is ready to stop playing defense and start automating its security, then it's time to speak to the experts. Visit the link in the description below to request a consultation with one of our cybersecurity specialists. Or if you want to see our AI agents in action, you can request a live demo through our contact form. Does knowing about this difference in security philosophy change how you view your phone? Does it make you reconsider your next purchase? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more tech insights, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.